My name is Katie James, publicly Iowa's more than 40,000 soybean farmers. It is one of my greatest joys to work for the betterment of our state's driving industry, agriculture. Governed by an elected board of 22 volunteer soybean farmers, our organization is committed to a strong and vibrant soybean industry. I firmly believe I get to work with some of the best farmers in the world, the cream of the crop, if you will. These farmers are hardworking, compassionate, motivated, and kind. They are also the life force behind countless rural communities across the state, including the one I grew up in Northwest Iowa. Farmers across my state are drowning. Farmers who I speak with often and hear about their struggles on their operations are questioning whether the bank will let them plant in a couple years, and for some, even as soon as next year. When farmers aren't doing well, rural communities suffer. When farmers can no longer afford to make purchases and do business at their local shops, small towns get closer to the verge of disappearance. Farm income is at its lowest in a decade. Farmers are making half the amount of money they were just 6 years ago, and for many, that equates to no longer breaking even. The EPA's mismanagement of small refinery exemptions is one of the primary factors influencing farmers' bottom lines. Your proposed supplemental rule claims to restore integrity to the RFS, but it does no such thing. Instead, the proposal runs counter to what President Trump, our elected officials, and biofuel supporters agreed to on the eve of the rule's rollout. The truth is, your rule will further gut the RFS, kill even more demand for soybeans and biodiesel, and shut down additional biofuels facilities. This situation is critical. The biodiesel industry and soybean farmers alike were promised 2.43 billion gallons of biodiesel be blended into the nation's fuel supply, an amount we accepted, but with the goal to increase in 2021 and beyond. We were also promised volume obligations for biodiesel are met, including an accounting for small refinery waivers based on a 3-year rolling average of gallons actually waived. However, your proposed rule does not restore integrity to the RFS because it relies on inaccurate 3-year averaging of Department of Energy recommendations to account for SREs. It asks farmers and biofuels producers to trust the same agencies that have gutted demand for biofuels by granting these waivers. This rhetoric was snuck into the agreement we had all previously accepted, and while your right hand was undermining the words of the president, the needs of America's farmers, and the interests of our environment, your left hand was throwing dollars at big oil companies. At least 9 biodiesel plants across the country have closed or cut production, impacting thousands of jobs. Your proposal will not help reopen biodiesel plants and get rural Americans back to work. It will likely lead to more plants shutting down. The Heartland has been saying it ever since your rule came out, and we will continue to say it until a promise is kept. A deal is a deal. Your actions are contributing to the collapse of rural America for seemingly no other reason than to bolster petroleum profits. Do better, fix what has been broken, and stay true to the words you told us earlier this month. Thank you.